What's going on, everyone? Gilman with Wellthy Stocks, back with another Moderna update video, ticker symbol MRNA, where we take a look at how Moderna stock traded today, some key support and resistance levels that we are looking at moving into the future, and based on that, what we think Moderna stock could do. So real quick, if you enjoy videos like this, don't forget to hit that like button down below, subscribe to my channel if you are new, and comment down below what your thoughts on Moderna are, and I'd love to chat with you guys down there. So let me hit record and we will get right into it. So another great green day for Moderna, and I know we have gotten used to this now, but still it's great to see these green days. If you guys were along it for the journey, we were covering Moderna here when it was dropping, trying to find that bottom. And since then, it's been on an absolute tear the opposite direction. So that's great to see. We love seeing that, and another great green day. So I covered some key pieces of news that kind of led to that in the past couple of days, right? We got 100 million new orders from the US government. The Swiss government placed new orders as well. And then there was another piece of news that I covered yesterday that I'm totally blanking on right now. Singapore, yes, Singapore approved Moderna's vaccine as well. So between Singapore, Swiss increasing their dose counts, we're talking the US government also ordering the 100 million more, all that really bodes well for the company. The other thing that kind of doesn't bode too well for the company is that Johnson & Johnson today submitted their application for approval for their COVID-19 shot to the FDA. Now, remember, Johnson & Johnson has a single dose shot, which means one vaccine, one shot, rather than, one now and one 21 or 28 days from now, as is the case for Pfizer and Moderna. So that's the one competitive advantage that it has. The other competitive advantage that Johnson & Johnson has would be, the fact that their shot is probably going to be a lot cheaper than Pfizer and Moderna. That being said, though, we don't care about that because the US government has already paid for everyone in the US, I believe, right? I don't know if that's accurate. We might have extra doses even, but we've paid for everyone to get a free dose. So if you want a free dose, right, I don't care if it costs $30 or 10, right? I'm not paying for it. The government has already placed those orders, right? So that's why that's a little bit not relevant for us. The other thing is that Moderna and also Pfizer are in the mid to high 90% efficacy. Johnson & Johnson comes in a little bit lower, I believe in the 70s. So, if you want a vaccine that's a little bit better, you were probably still gonna go with Pfizer or Moderna. And I think that, with Johnson & Johnson filing for that approval is great, right? Let me not sound like I'm bashing on Johnson & Johnson at all. I'm just saying, Moderna is not going to be too impacted by it because a lot of the factors that we see are going to be different. Where we are going to be impacted for Moderna is more international, because Johnson & Johnson will be an absolute game changer in that, right? We're talking cheaper, right? Because that matters. Those governments are, probably still doing newer contracts. Places where they probably aren't able to put together 2 doses, so Johnson & Johnson can really help out. So I think definitely Johnson & Johnson is going to be great for us in the COVID vaccine space, but I think Moderna still has its own kind of competitive advantage, if you will. The other thing that I want to talk about is the Moderna CEO said the world will live with COVID forever. And I know that sounds very grim, but that's not what he's saying, right? We live with the flu forever too. So he's saying that we might need booster shots. And that, although doesn't sound like great news, because we're going to get COVID variants and we're going to have to keep getting vaccines, it means recurring revenue for Moderna, right? So if we keep seeing news on that, I definitely think that it could push it up. Now, let's get right into the stock analysis part of it. Since that's what we are here for, right? We want to see where the stock price is going. We got some money in Moderna, hopefully. So yesterday we closed here in the 165s, right? The next level of resistance that we charted out yesterday was in the 172s. I'm not making these numbers up now, right? That's the number that we had yesterday. So when we opened, right, we pushed up to 170s, came right back down to the opening price in the 165s. And then we started to push up again, and after this point, right, this bounce off of VWAP, the volume weighted average price line, which if you don't know what that is, I have a video on my channel. Go to my channel, type in VWAP, VWAP, and you can see exactly what this line means. We pushed up, we hit up right against pretty much our level. Our level was 172.56. We went up about $1 above that and came right back down, hit up against this line again, came right back down to VWAP, then pushed up, got rejected perfectly by this line once again, pushed down, and then we finally broke it above that line. Right now we are pushing down 172.85, which is, you know, pretty much really close to where our line is in the 172.80s, right? 172.80 is where our line is. So going to the daily chart, what do we see? Well, again, you know, we covered Moderna when it was falling here. We covered the rise that it had here. And now what we're covering is this. So if you guys watched my videos from a couple days ago, you know exactly what we're looking at here. We're talking about the cup and handle pattern. So this is the cup, and then this is the handle forming. Typically, you know, this downward trend I would have liked to see go for a little bit longer with maybe lower volume, right? But we are not seeing that just yet. We are seeing low volume days for the past 2 days, and those low volume days are us going higher, right? Which is kind of consistent with the cup and handle pattern, but typically I like to see it kind of go down slower and for a little bit longer. But hey, if it's happening this way, I'm not going to deny it. So what do we have coming up from levels of support, and what do we have coming up from levels of resistance? So from a level of support, if we were to go down, we've got this 164 level that we bounced off of today. Then we've got this 160 level, and let me bring the EMAs out, which is also the 8 EMA in the 160s. And then we've got the 153, and then the 21 EMAs all the way down at 146, right? So if we start to go down, those are the levels that I'm watching. Again, that's 164, 160, 150, what is this level? 153, and then the 21 EMA at 146. Those are the 4 levels that I'm watching to the downside. However, if we see this kind of handle pattern continue to play out, what we are looking for next, you guys, is we are about $12 away from the all-time high. So if we see a little bit of continuation, we see another green day, the real level to watch here is this 185.98, because that is the all-time high. If we can push towards that level, depending on how it acts at that level, could lead to another breakout for us. So if we go up, maybe we get rejected at 185, we start putting down, we start going down after that, right? Fine, that's it, maybe pattern broke. But if we hit up against this 185, we see a lot of volume, we see a lot of momentum, we could really take off at this point. So we got the cup, we got the handle, and boom, that's when we have the breakout here and we set new all-time highs, maybe even reaching 200 bucks. Key though is what happens when we get to this all-time high if we see another green day. We could still be consolidating for a little bit before we start to push up. Remember that we have earnings coming up in a couple weeks, so that'll be interesting to see. We could see a little bit of run into earnings as well. I'm holding a third of my position. I sold a third at 145 as I said I would. I sold a third in the, I think, 170s. We're back kind of around the level where I sold, and I'm holding on to a third to see what happens. Hopefully we see that cup and handle pattern breakout, and we see the breakout soon. The cup and handle pattern workout, and we see the breakout soon. So that's all I had for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to drop a like on this video. It helps me out as I'm trying to grow the channel. Subscribe to my channel if you are new. Comment down below what your thoughts on Moderna are, and I'd love to chat with you guys down there. Let's remember to be a bit better every single day, and until next time.